Hey, well, what's up, my friends, all coinaholics of all ages? Well, a number of people have been requesting the next installment of the low mintage series of coins from 2010 and 2020, and it drops right now. We are going to take a look at the top five plus a bonus candy half dollars during this time period. I'm going to be honest and say I was more than a bit surprised at what I was able to find for you guys on this top five list. Because if you had seen my previous two installments of this series, which it's quite short, I'm going to be doing another one next week, and then the last one is going to be for the next week after that, the quarters and the pennies. But if you guys checked out my Roosevelt dime one, where I thought if you've didn't think that you had seen some of the lowest vintage coins in within the last decade, candy half dollars. Surprisingly, there's a lot of coins that are quite scarce. However, there are a few on the list that if you wanted to buy a few of these, they are quite affordable, both in raw form, because some of these, a lot of them, were only available through these special sets that were produced in the last 10 years. There was one pretty substantial event that occurred within the last 10 years that kind of put the candy half dollar front and forward in front of collectors. And the US Mint had capitalized on this. And that was the 50th anniversary of the 1964 candy half dollar start to the series, as you guys know. That coin existed largely in part because Kennedy was, you all know how that happened. He was killed as president, and the government decided, we're going to do a tribute coin. 1964 became that year in which we saw a Kennedy half dollar. Who knows what else could have happened? If nothing would have happened, maybe the Franklin half dollar series would have continued on. Kind of hard to say. But 64 to 2014 is a 50-year landmark period that was quite notable. And that's the big reason why the US Mint had pushed and promoted a bevy of different products during that specific year. And it kind of like snowballed into a lot more. Okay, we began to see these little funny kind of like one-off type of coins that have been released in subsequent later years before 2020. We're going to talk about all of them. The list that we have for you today, I know it says top five, but we do have a bonus. But all in all, we're talking about like over 10 coins. And you're going to see why here in a moment. This is not going to be one of those videos where, it's like, okay, here's the top 10 lowest mintage or top 5 lowest mintage coins. Go ahead and buy them. We're not doing a super spec. We're not doing any of that stuff. These are all coins that I wanted to make you guys aware of that exist out there that otherwise have probably gotten lost in the shuffle for a myriad of reasons. Maybe people aren't nearly as interested in Kennedy half dollars as they used to. So a lot of these niche, very exclusive, very scarce coins might have been forgotten. And I can honestly say I'm probably one of those people as well. I'm not a Kennedy super collector. I know it has a dedicated fan base, and because of that, there will always be some sort of collectability within this series. But I can honestly say that I haven't, I have certainly lost touch with a few of these releases during the last 10 years. I remember talking about them, and I've said, well, it's not really for me, or, maybe this will have some sort of niche audience, and sure enough, it did. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into the what I call the honorable mention. The honorable mention is actually 4 coins, and they were all available in one set, and that's the 2014 50th anniversary silver set. Each and every single coin in this set, released in 2014, is crafted out of 90% silver composition. So 90% silver, 10% copper. That's your compositional alloy makeup of each coin in here. Each coin is quite unique, and each one has a different mint mark, which is also pretty interesting. There's a 2014p Proof Silver edition. There's a 2014D, a Denver minted just regular silver uncirculated coin. There's a 2014S enhanced uncirculated silver, and a 2014 West Point reverse proof silver. 4 coins. The total mintage limit of each coin, or the total amount of these sets that were sold in 2014, came up to 219,173. So there's all 4 coins at a glance. I'm not going to do some elaborate, cut and paste of each coin, because we know what the candy half dollars look like. But here's each one of the 4 coins in this particular set. If you wanted to purchase just a set so you could have them, there's actually quite a few of them in the marketplace. And they generally go for completed sales for between $75 and $80. It seems like a pretty good deal considering just the scarcity of the set. But considering that this is my highest minted out of the bunch at only 219,000 pieces, kind of speaks volumes for where we're heading through the rest of this video. 219,000 pieces is actually quite rare for a series, especially one that is as modern as this one. So this particular set certainly does demand a little bit more attention, maybe a little bit more respect, because somewhere down the line, years on, later on down the line, I don't know if I'm still going to be around or if this is beyond our current generation or the next generation, but people are going to take notice of some of these coins that are extremely low mintage, and they'll probably do a buyout, or they'll, invest in the graded types. You just never know. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the graded coins themselves. So we've determined that a full set raw can be had for between $75 and $80, which seems like a pretty decent deal considering what you're receiving. The 2019 or 2014S enhanced uncirculated silver, as you see here, it's actually kind of cool looking. It's a mint state uncirculated coin, but yet it has a kind of, I don't know, it looks very much like a special mint set coin if you were able to find one that was deep cameo, which is a really, really challenging proposition in itself. This one right here, 2014S, it's a first strike designation. Proof 70 proof likes, or mint state 70 proof likes. This one does not say PL, but there are other graded NGC and PCGS examples that currently designate proof like on these type of coins. Can be had for between $45 and $50 in a perfect 70. But that's if and only if you get one that's not a first strike. First strike designated labels will command about $100 for the coin. So at that point, it's really going to be up to you of whether or not you'll settle for just a regular 70, which, I mean, you can't get any better on the numerical grading scale other than a 70. That's top end. Or if the first strike label designation is really that important to you, keep that in mind. You're going to pay quite a bit more money for that first strike label on all the coins on the list. And I'll kind of disseminate exactly what the price difference is from a regular, say, 69 or 70, and then the next cut above with that first strike designation. So $45 to $50 for a 70. First strike label, $100. I mean, it seems like a really good deal for what you're getting. Here's the 2014D. This is the Unc Silver. Mid-state 70 examples can be had, as you see here on screen, for about $70 to $80. And then first strike designation coins will add about a 10-15% premium to that amount of money. But here you go, $70, $80 for this coin as well. Here's the 2014P. This is the regular standard proof. It's kind of odd to see a proof like this without having an S mint mark on it. Something to kind of get used to. As you can see, this one is graded as a Proof 70, and they do the Deep Cameo or Ultra Cameo Contrast designation on these. These right here can be had for a Proof 70 for between $40 and $50. That's pretty interesting. First strike designation coins will command about $10-20 more than this. I've also seen them as high as $80 to $100. Depending on whether or not you get one with kind of like the specialized Kennedy label graphic on there. But yeah, this is the cheapest one out of the four. And then finally, we got the reverse proof 2014 West Point. This one is a Proof 70. They don't designate these as DCAM because they're just, the reverse proofs. They're all, they all have that strong frosting on the fields and then the mirrored devices on there. This one right here in a Proof 70 will set you back between $90 and $100, if you bought this coin separately. But you can, you have the ability to buy a 4-coin set of every single one of these coins in this one in Proof 70, and more than likely they're all going to be by one grading company, whether that's NGC or PCGS. You could actually get the entire set in a 70 for between $350 and $400. That might be the best way to go. If you were to buy the coins separately, I mean, you're going to be right in that ballpark anyways, so why not just grab the whole set? The good news is you don't have to grade them. You just, whoever had owned it at the first shot of owning this set had paid for the grading service fees, and you don't have to. So that's extra money that you could save. So, I mean, that's a heck of an honorable mention to kind of like kick off this video. 4 coins, relatively inexpensive, perfect grade 70s that you could have, that you could, dump less than $100 into to own a coin. I mean, that 2014 2014 Philadelphia Proof Silver at only $40 to $50 seems like the big bargain out of the bunch. All right, so we're going to jump into the actual list, the top 5. So we got number 5 right here. This is actually one of my favorites. It's not silver. This is a copper nickel clad 2017 S enhanced uncirculated. So most of the coin itself, it has that kind of like satiny sandblasted surface. The only parts of the coin that is polished in relief is the letters, and I think the stars on the reverse is also polished as well. It's quite a unique looking coin. If you have ever seen an enhanced uncirculated coin, they certainly look nothing like anything else that you've seen cranked out from the US Mint. This one has a mintage of 210,419 pieces. Raw examples can be had for between $5 and $15. And if you wanted to buy a set, keep in mind this is the 225th anniversary enhanced uncirculated coin set. I actually featured both the nickel and the dime in my previous videos. And more than likely you're going to see the quarters and the penny on that list because this is quite a low mintage, very scarce availability set. And that's the only place where you could find this, is in that 225th anniversary of the Philadelphia Mint set. All right. And if you're looking to jump into some graded examples, we have both an NGC and a PCGS SP70 is how these are graded and designated as such. The early releases and First Strike are kind of one and the same. All right, that's just how each one of those companies authenticate it. And you could own an SP70, talking about a deal, for between $25 and $30. And it doesn't matter if it's a First Strike or not. $25 to $30 to own an SP70 of the enhanced finish uncirculated 2017 S. What a bargain. I would say across the board, $5 to $15 as a standalone single raw coin, $20 for the 225th anniversary set, $25 to $30 for the graded coin in a perfect 70. All right, the number 4 coin on the list is going to be this 2018S reverse proof silver. I believe this is still a 0.900 fineness silver coin, so it's a 90% silver with 10% copper composition coin. The mintage on this one is just under 200K, and that's 199,116 pieces were produced for this coin. Raw examples will set you back between $80 and $100. So this is quite a pricey coin, ungraded. If you needed an ungraded example, maybe to put into a Kennedy $50 set, maybe you got one of those albums that actually has a hole for this coin, expect to pay between $80 and $100 for that coin. Actually, for the set, rather. The set, the reverse proof silver set of 2018 is between $80 and $100. The raw individual coin is $40, plus or minus a few bucks. That's the going average current completed sales on eBay as of today, October 5th. This is the set that it comes in, the 2018 silver reverse proof set that has all the coins in there, all 10 coins for that year. And I believe I've also talked about the dime and the Jefferson nickel in my previous top 10, top 5 videos, rather, of low mintage coins. And if you wanted to get into the action for some graded examples, we have a Proof 69 through NGC on the left-hand side, and then we have a Perfect 70 on the right-hand side. Now keep in mind, they don't designate Ultra Cameo or Deep Cameo for a reverse proof finish. This particular coin in a Proof 70 will set you back between $40 and $50. Not really a whole bunch of price difference between that and a raw example. Proof 70 examples will set you back somewhere in that $150 to $165 range, and that's normally reserved for first strike examples. So any graded example, whether it's an NGC or PCGS with early release or first strike, will typically command that $150 to $165 range. You might see them just a little bit cheaper if they don't have the first strike designation, but I haven't seen too many of them. We do have one here on the right hand. Actually, both of these coins don't have the early release. Actually, the one on the left, the 69, is the first release. The coin on the right does not have first strike, but it still managed to sell for, I believe, $161 is how much that one sold for. All right, so that's the 2018S Reverse Proof Silver. And these are coins that I had recently talked about. I actually own a number of these sets. I actually have a box sitting on the floor next to me with nothing but these particular coins. But we have two coins tied for the number 3 spot, and that's the 2014 P&D Uncirculated High Relief coins. These, again, are copper nickel clad. Kind of hard to see from this Philadelphia example, but when we switch over to the Denver, it has a really nice deep dish finish. Pretty nice. Very satiny in its strike. Very well crafted. These are struck as special strikes, so a PCGS or NGC example will show SP in front of the numerical grade. We'll talk about that here momentarily. But this set right here has quite an exclusive mintage of only 197,608 for each of the Philadelphia and Denver minted coins. A raw set will look like this. It'll come in this type of packaging. So that's the outside folder carton. And then the inside will look like this, where you'll have each coin in its respective airtight holder. And it's actually constructed as part of that card, which also, I believe, has on the back side of it the certificate of authenticity. A raw set will set you back only $15 to $20. Okay, it's 2 coins per set. Now, where it gets really spicy is when you come across graded examples. I don't think there's any SP70s of this coin. It's quite scarce. A lot of what I did find on eBay were a lot of SP67s. That seems to be kind of like the generic grade across the board. Those can be had for between $30 and $40. Now, there are a few other like there's a SP68 that you could find. They're kind of less available in comparison to the SP67. 68s will command somewhere in that $40 to $50 range. But if you wanted to go all out and really spend some money on this set, take a look at the SP69s. And these have commanded many hundreds of dollars for both a D and P set. Now, what we have here, and I saw that the mistake on this one, this is actually the 2014 D silver 50 cents. So this was part of that 4-piece set that we started the video at. So, but when we go to this next slide right here, you'll see that this is the high relief clad. All right, so I mistakenly added that previous picture. That didn't have any bearing on this particular 2-coin set. But the SP69s can command anywhere from $400 to $500 per coin. This is actually quite an attractive presentation where we have both coins graded in an NGC holder with the black inserts, and then you have the black and white photographed President Kennedy right there on the label. I think this is stunning. It's very, very cool looking. This is the only one sold on eBay. There aren't too many of these in SP69. That's really a top pop high level grade for these. But believe it or not, this is quite an expensive set at those higher grades. And this is the number 2 coin right here. We have a 2019 S. Okay, this coin's only 2 years removed, ladies and gentlemen. So this was only available in the Apollo 11 50th anniversary set that included both this coin and the Apollo 11 curved coin, which we'll see an image here momentarily. Now, this is dubbed the Enhanced Reverse Proof. There were only 100,000 total pieces produced of both this coin and the subsequent Apollo 11 coin that you'll see alongside of it. Very, very exclusive coin. A raw set will look like this and will command anywhere from $80 to $90. I had talked about this set at one point in the past. It wasn't quite for me, but now that I see it, I think it's a very attractive looking set with a somewhat scarce mintage. And it's a very nice presentation for as basic as it looks. I think it's certainly worth mentioning that this set also is a set that hasn't really moved up in value. So I can't say that, oh yeah, this thing has jumped up 100%. All right, it might have ticked up a little bit, but when raw 2-coin sets command $80 to $90, that's really close to what I believe is the release price back 2 years ago. Here are both coins side by side. I think the Kennedy half dollar is 100,000. The Apollo proof commemorative is higher than that because that was a product limit for that coin. They had actually sold that coin independently by itself. So the mintage for that coin is a little bit higher. But a lot of what you'll find in the marketplace graded are going to be perfect 70s of this coin. I didn't see any 69s. There might be one or two out there that haven't sold. But if you wanted the best, go for a proof 70. I strongly believe that this is a very underrated type of coin with a low mintage, and a proof 70 can be had for between $110 and $120. This is probably the best deal out of the bunch. Aside from the 2017 S Enhanced Uncirculated at only $25 to $30, I think deep down I'd rather have this coin. I'd pay a little bit extra money, buy this one for around $110 to $120, and I feel like there's a whole lot more satisfaction with this coin. And it won't take much for a coin like this to get bought out because the quantities are so limited. And here is also a pretty cool PCGS with an exclusive printed Astronauts Memorial Foundation label on there. This one has what I call the flipped over label layout. And you can see that this one is also approved 70, first day of issue, and this one still sells in that range of $110 to $120. And then finally, who would have thought that the last coin on this group is going to be a quad 9 fine gold Kennedy half dollar? You heard that right. This coin is 3/4 of an ounce of quad 9 fineness. And this was the big coin sold and made available in 2014 for the 50th anniversary of the Kennedy half dollar. And this one also has that dual date, which I think is really, really neat, 1964 to 2014. Raw examples of this coin, if you were just going to get the coin, maybe in the original government packaging that you see here, will set you back between $1,600 and $1,800. Quite a bit of a market premium, not based wholly on the weight of the gold piece, because it's only 3/4 of an ounce of quad 9 fine. And here's a secondary picture. They really did a good job with this, with that wooden kind of like, it's not quite mahogany, walnut maybe. That box looks really nice with this coin. And if you're going to spend that kind of money, I would figure, the presentation needs to kind of match the dollar figure on this one. But this one right here has a low mintage of only 73,772 total pieces produced. This was also a West Point minted coin, so there's a W mint mark on there. And if you were going to go for graded, man, you do have a couple options. There are proof 69s that are deep cameo that you could opt for. Those will set you back pretty close to what a raw example would go for between $1,700 and $1,800. The coin that you see here is a perfect proof 70 deep cameo. And if you got an example that did not have first strike, much like this one that you see, well, this one is a first strike, I take that back, sorry. There are examples that don't have the first strike designation, which means they were graded after the first 30 days of release. And those will set you back in somewhere around $2,000 to maybe $2,100. But the first strike example that you see here will set you back the most amount of money out of every coin on the list, and that's right around $3,000. Yeah, the first strike designation holder adds about 30-35% of a premium to a standard proof 70 deep cameo coin. So keep that in mind. You are going to be paying quite a big difference going from a normal proof 70 to a first strike for 70 or a first day of issue. Okay, that's another element to add in there. But yeah, this is the top dog coin of Kennedy half dollars. And some of you will probably say, well, that coin doesn't belong on the list. Well, sure it does. I mean, it's a Kennedy half dollar that is in the Kennedy half dollar section of every major publication and every major price guide. It is in there as a regular standard issue from the U.S. Mint with a 2014 date, with the same tolerance size of the coin to a standard half dollar. I mean, certainly it does belong on here. It's just a really unique special strike coin. And, if you can't afford one and you like it, absolutely get one. But, well, I guess that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. That's the top 10 or 11 or however many coins there was in there of Kennedy half dollars from 2010 to 2020. All low mintage stuff. That's quite a nice list, considering that the honorable mention only has 219,000 pieces produced of each of those coins. I appreciate, you guys checking this out. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you have a favorite coin on the list? And, do you see any that might interest you? Because these are out there today. If you're looking to spec or possibly pick up a few of these sets just to keep because they are low mintage, it might be a good idea. But that's going to go ahead and do it. I am Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe to today's video and the channel if you enjoy today's content. Hit the dislike button if you don't. But that's going to go ahead and do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Another one in the books. Stay tuned for the Lincoln Cent top 5 and the Washington Quarters top 5. That thing is going to be a beast. But those are going to be coming up here in the next 2 weeks. And then that's how we're going to close it out. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Coinaholics, we are discovering together each and every single day. You guys take care. Have a great day. And I'll see you on the next coin video.